Hey everyone, how's it going? Geek here, and today I have another awesome weekly update video for you guys. With Beta 2 getting released in a matter of days, I wanted to talk about my plans for the future of this game and the things that I want to improve on as development continues. Right now, I think we have a solid base for the final game, with most of the core mechanics implemented, at least partially. So for today's video, we'll be taking a look at the things that I think need improvement moving forward from this beta, and discussing how I'll be changing things to make those improvements. As always, before we get started, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also be sure to check out the time codes in the video description if you want to jump around. Alright, let's get into it. Starting off, I want to talk about the thing that I want to improve the most, the combat system. Right now, it's pretty bare bones and requires you manually target an enemy in order to work. It's a bit clunky to say the least, because you have to target something in order to use special moves or basic attacks, so having to manually target before you can attack anything is kind of a hassle. It's not the biggest issue you could have with the game, it just adds an extra button press to your gameplay, but it's still a bit tedious. The reason for this though is because the targeting system isn't set up the way I want it to be right now. For those who can remember my previous videos, I've said that I want the game to auto-target enemies for you, allowing you to just button mash your way through some satisfying beat-em-up gameplay segments. While working on the combat system, I implemented manual targeting to be able to quickly test out controls and such, but haven't gone back to fix the targeting system like I've been meaning to. There's always just something else to work on, and I never got around to it. So moving forward, that needs to be fixed to make targeting enemies automatic, allowing the player to fight enemies uninterrupted. With a character like the Flash, combat needs to be fast, fluid, and loose in order to be as enjoyable as possible. Right now, I feel like my combat is a bit stiff in the current build, so I definitely want to fix that as I continue working on the game. Past the combat system, I want to improve the AI from the enemy characters. Right now, they all operate pretty much the same. They run to you, start punching the shit out of you, and chase you if you run away. Pretty basic stuff. I want to throw in a little variety for the enemies though, like having them attack from distances, or circling around the player to attack from behind, utilizing different damage types, and even dodging attacks. I haven't had the time to implement anything that complex yet, but I definitely want to moving forward because I think it would really improve the combat experience. I also want to start implementing more sound design into the game. Right now, the game is pretty silent admittedly. A few spoken lines for the Flash are in there and some background music, that pretty much sums it up. I have to implement the reverse Flash lines moving forward and get some voice lines from Arrow too. We all know that Clapper's been hard at work on the music for the game, which you all seem pretty excited about whenever we show a segment of it, so I want to make sure I start getting those tracks into the game as soon as possible. I clearly have a lot I want to improve on, but this is only the second beta, so even though I have a lot that I think needs improvement, we've definitely come a long way from when I started this game project. It's crazy to look back at previous videos and to see where this game project has come from. A lot has changed since that first announcement video back in July of last year. We've seen Central City grow and get remade. We've seen the Flash develop into a fully playable character with wall running and combat. We've watched the playable roster of characters continue to grow over time. We watched my brother, Comic Books vs. the World, slowly rot in a cell in my basement, and I really should clean him up because he's really starting to stink up the joint. And we're here, releasing the second beta already. Time really flies, man. Good times. Moving past the nostalgia trip for a second, let's talk about what I've already improved for the second beta. For starters, we all know that the Chase Reverse Flash game mode is a lot longer now. He runs through the city as you chase after him, trying to hit him whenever you get close enough, hoping that you hit him enough times before he makes it to the stadium to enter phase 2 of the fight. To make the game mode harder, I have the Flash stop moving every time you throw a punch or reverse Flash, meaning you have to catch up to him after every hit. Also, I gave him a ton of health, and your punches don't do as much as his, so have fun with that one. You react to getting punched too, which can disrupt your attacks and make you miss damage. All in all, it's not an impossible game mode, but it's definitely possible to lose in. Can we talk about the Trickster game mode for a second though? Man, if that game mode didn't give people the biggest headaches trying to win it. It was admittedly super challenging, by design, only giving you barely enough time to collect the present bombs. To improve the game mode a little bit, I did add a beeping sound effect to the bomb presence. Hopefully that helps people find them a bit easier, and it hopefully makes the gameplay experience a little more better when you're playing that game mode. Don't say I never do anything for you. Finally, the meta mystery game mode was just very confusing to people. So I'm adding a little more detail to give people a better idea of what's going on to keep the story on track without revealing specifically what's happening, because I still want to save the reveal as a surprise for the final game. Hopefully people will really enjoy the second beta with all the changes and improvements being made, despite some of the shortcomings I've already mentioned. The goal for this game project has always been to have fun working on it and to try and provide an enjoyable experience for the people who play it. So I'm just hoping I did my job and people will have fun this time around with what's established in the game so far. This game has come a long way since last year, so I'm just really hoping people like where it's headed and will keep supporting it along the way. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe down below. Also be sure to follow me on Twitter and TikTok, and make sure you join the community Discord server. Links are in the description box down below. Also, if you can, consider joining the Patreon, where you'll get videos early and you can even become an NPC in the Flash game. Thanks everyone, and I'll see you guys in the next one.